We were all new to World of Warcraft at some point, right? And we all made mistakes in those early days. Granted, some of us make more mistakes than others, but even I have flaws. And I'm going to open up to you all and share 5 of my most vulnerable noob moments from when I started playing WoW. So, let's get stuck in, shall we? These were 5 of my biggest noob moments in World of Warcraft. So, first up, I'm sure we all remember encountering our first group quest while leveling. For a lot of us here on the Alliance side, it was of course the big dog, Hogger. Now, it's not that I didn't know Hogger required some assistance to defeat. I mean, it said it right there in the quest log. And when I started playing WoW, I was one of those dweebs that thoroughly read through all the quest logs I picked up. So I was warned. But I think I arrogantly said to myself, oh yeah, well how tough could he be? Sort of thinking that the group advisory note in the quest log was just a suggestion. Well anyway, after fighting my way through a bunch of stinking flea-ridden gnolls, I attempt to have a crack at the big guy himself. You can probably guess how it went. My character was soon face down in a pool of his own blood and urine. And I know what you're thinking. Lesson learned, right? I gave it a shot, realized how tough he was, and went and grouped up. Well, not quite. I think I was really determined to beat the bastard solo. I don't know why. I don't know why I wanted to do this. It wasn't like anyone else in the area gave a damn. So I died. Again, and again, and again. Until, eventually, it made its way into my thick skull that... yeah, I should probably get a group for this. So I finally grouped up with a couple of guys and we killed him in one. I probably could have taken him though, just a couple more solo attempts, I'm sure. But you know, maybe if I had some advice or a guide, like Zygor's leveling add-on, maybe I would have had a better idea of what to do. If you're looking for the best guide add-on to help with your leveling experience, achievement farming or mount collecting, well, Zygor does it all. I even asked it if I would live a happy and fulfilled life. It said no. Use code NIXIUM for 20% off. Link in the description. The next noob moment, or maybe noob way of thinking, was... I remember not really understanding how PvP worked. The way I think I had it in my head was that World of Warcraft was a game where the two factions could take and hold territory or world zones. Maybe not like every zone, but certain zones that didn't contain capitals or, I don't know, something like that. I know we do kind of have zones like that now, but I thought it was like the majority of the world. I also didn't know that battlegrounds were instanced. I thought they were like big areas of the game that had something valuable to fight over, and that you just kinda rocked up to them like, Private Noob reporting for duty. But anyway, I bring this up because when I got the quest to unlock my succubus, you're sent to the Barrens to speak with some kind of seer. Now, I had no idea where the Barrens were or how to get there, but like a couple of my friends who are max level said they'd show me the way and that the Barrens was Horde territory. Oh my, I thought. A quest behind enemy lines. Oh, this is gonna be dangerous. And sure enough, my friends ended up fighting several Horde players on that journey, but that was because they decided to mess with the guards at Camp Tarajo. The whole time, I'm looking over my shoulder as I run up and down the Barrens thinking a Horde player could charge out from nowhere and clap my little warlock cheeks. But nothing happened. Sure, they were fighting my friends, but for some reason, I was left completely unharmed. Did the Horde have more honor than I first thought? No. It turns out, I was on a PvE server. The next noob moment I can think of was figuring out when the correct time to CC was. It might seem like an odd choice, but remember, I'm a warlock. When I first got my crowd control abilities, Banish and Fear, I was, always a little over-enthusiastic in using them. I think it was because I had read somewhere that classes with CC have a responsibility to use them in dungeons and that you shouldn't just try and get the most damage on a mob, but think about the encounters tactically. So yeah, I used to hit that fear button on any trash pack that I could. I don't even think I understood why the tank would get so angry. Like, why did they invite a warlock to the dungeon group if they didn't want me to CC things? So yeah, after a few extra trash pack pulls, a few wipes, and a couple of dungeon kicks, I soon got the message. Leave it to the mage. So, next up, we have another moment tied to my stubbornness, but also my desire to not spend a lot of money. Granted, it's video game money, but still, I was very frugal with my gold in my early WoW days. But yeah, I did everything I could to delay buying the proper enchants and gems until I really needed them. Really needing them being when the raid leader inspects me to find out why my damage is so damn low. But on top of that, I didn't really understand how stats and sockets worked. When I get a pair of gloves and they have 2 blue sockets that unlock a minor spirit bonus, well, clearly I need to fill them with the matching color and get that spirit. Cheap stamina gems, in you go. Oh, how was I supposed to know what the ideal stats were? It wasn't like a little notice from the game pops up to say, "Hey idiot, you should probably forego the bonus and get some spell power or crit gems, and don't cheap out on them, you dope." Luckily, I had some caring friends to deliver that message, but some of us aren't so lucky. Okay, so my final noob moment of shame was during my first Black Fathom Depths run. The dungeon itself went off pretty much without a hitch. All but one thing. You see, when I was a new player, I hadn't yet mastered the art of using my mouse to move my character. Oh yes, I was a classic keyboard turner. When my character needed to move, he stood firmly on the spot, rotated in the direction he needed to be, and then proceeded forward. I made good use of my keyboard's arrow keys, thank you. It was like playing the game on tank controls. Now you're probably thinking, what's the issue? You can get through an old classic dungeon without needing to move around rapidly. True. But Black Fathom Depths is one of the rare instances in the game where a small amount of platforming is required. Yes, early in the dungeon, Blizzard decided to single out those of us less dexterous than others by making us jump across several pieces of rubble in a room filled with water. Needless to say, my character slipped and plummeted into that water over and over again, while the rest of my group stood on the other side watching me get soaked for an embarrassingly long time. My character may not have died from falling, but believe me, my pride certainly did. I still remember the female Night Elf player who stood on the far side, watching me fall in again and again, before typing out the letters LOL. And I tell you, that LOL cut deep. But just you wait, pal. One day, years in the future, I'll single you out in a top noob moments video, and then we'll see who's lolling then. Well, that's about it, folks. I'm ending the list here before I feel any shame again. But do you guys have any noob experiences that you would like to share? Go ahead and humiliate yourselves down in the comments section. Or if you want to laugh at someone else, Nixium made a video about 5 of his own noob moments in WoW. Check out that video if you want to laugh at him. But until next time, have a good one and get out of here.